So I will be the first one to admit that I waste a ton of time every single day, and it's something that I want to work on. Think about it, all the time that you spend scrolling through Instagram or just that phantom drain of your day-to-day life, how much extra time you would have at the end of a week if you were able to bring all of that together. What's up guys, my name is Mateo Hall, and today I wanted to talk about the top 10 things that are completely wasting your time and that you could be spending your time doing better. And I'm coming to this from a place of acknowledgement because all of these are things that I have been doing and things that I want to find myself doing better at in the future. So we're gonna hop right into it with number one being just mindlessly scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. It's a phantom drain that affects all of us. Whenever you're just going through Instagram, when you have a couple extra minutes that you're just waiting for the microwave to be done, or you're waiting for the bus stop, this, that, or the other thing, those are precious minutes in your life that you're not really doing anything productive with. Now, I'm gonna preface this saying, no, not every single moment of your life has to be productive doing something, but it should be intentional. When you start scrolling through Instagram, it puts you in a state of mind that you're not doing anything right now, that you can just completely zone off. And most of the time, once you start scrolling through Instagram, it's gonna start leading to other things. Oh, now I need to respond to that text. And personally, me, I normally start scrolling through Instagram on my second biggest waste of time, which is just staying in bed way too late after my alarm goes off. I have an alarm that goes off at 6 o'clock every morning, and I'm easily not out of bed until 6:15 most of the time, just because I pick up my phone and I start scrolling through Instagram and Facebook and this, that, and the other thing, and it just leads to a less productive day. It creates a terrible, unproductive start to your day. And since you're staying in bed after your alarm's already gone off, you're not waking up whatsoever. You're just kind of this drowsy, half awake, half asleep type state that isn't gonna get anything done. What I've started to do recently is the second my alarm goes off, pop right up into bed, do a couple push-ups, get that blood flowing in order to get the day started. But now once you do have the day started, you're wanting to get all of your tasks done at once, right? Which brings us into our third biggest waste of time, which is trying to multitask. So many people say that they're amazing multitaskers, but they're really not. Study after study have shown that multitasking just isn't real. The human brain is really good at switching from one activity to another activity very quickly. But whenever you're multitasking, you're focusing on one thing or another. You're always sacrificing one of those activities. So if you think that you're multitasking, take a step back for a second and think, what am I really sacrificing by doing both of these at the same time? And that brings me directly into number 4. Since you're sacrificing one of those things, you're not doing it as effectively as you probably should be. One of the big takeaways that I really had growing up was through my stepdad. He was in the Marines, and that kind of drilled in something that if you're gonna do something, you should be doing it right. Because if you're not doing it right, you're gonna have to do it over again. And that really applies to every facet of life. Whether it be when you're cleaning up your room or when you're setting up a really big business deal. If you rush through something and you just want to get it done so you can move on to the next task, you're not going to do it nearly to satisfaction of what someone else wants. So number 4, if you're going to do a task, do it right, or you're going to waste your time doing it over again. Now let's take a step back through your little morning and daily routine. You're starting to actually get work done, but then you go ahead and you check your email, and then you check your Robinhood, link in the description to get an entirely free stock just for signing up for the platform. You check your credit card balances, and then you check your bank balances. Why do you find yourself doing these things? Number 5, biggest waste of time that I've noticed myself doing is just keep checking things that aren't gonna change in your day-to-day. My biggest failure in this is I check my Robinhood account so many times every day when it's not changing by that much. I'm not a day trader, so I shouldn't really be looking at my brokerage account all that often, once, maybe twice a day, for when I'm actually buying my stocks. People do the same thing with email. You go into your email and you say, oh wow, I have 7 new emails, but I'm doing something right now. You know what? I'll read through all of these. So you start reading through them, but then you realize you don't really have the time to reply. So why were you there in the first place? Something that's gonna be really hard for me to do is set a specific time that you're gonna check these things, whether it be your brokerage account or your email or your credit card statements. don't be going over these same things 20 times one day because it's just a waste of time. It's just not changing that much. Now, you finished up most of your work for the day. It's getting later into the evening, so you sit down on the couch and instinctively start reaching for the remote. Turn on Netflix, sit back, and next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock. The number 6 biggest waste of time is bringing TV into your daily routine. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't relax or you shouldn't watch TV every now and then. But having that be your go-to thing at 6 o'clock, I get to go and watch TV, watch the newest episode of Game of Thrones. Wow, shows how out of touch I am with current TV shows. But bringing TV into your daily routine is just not gonna be effective, because once you start watching TV, once you make a habit out of that, it's gonna drain away your time very quickly. This past Saturday, I felt absolutely terrible. And it's not because I felt sick or anything. It's because I realized at 3 o'clock that all I did all day was watch TV, lay in bed, and look through social media. For me, it doesn't feel good to just throw the day away. So that's why I've been trying to cut TV out of my daily routine a little bit and start doing things that are actually going to be helping me out in the future. Number 7, 8, and 9 really tie into each other pretty heavily. So we're going to slow down a bit right here. Number 7 is procrastinating. If you have a task that you could do in less than 5 minutes, why not do it right now? Because it'll get it off of your to-do list and it'll actually make you feel accomplished through your day. Procrastinating super easy tasks to the end is just going to make you feel terrible and overloaded. And the way that you get out of that overloaded sense of feeling is that you transition into number 8, which is not having a plan or a to-do list. I really don't like a digital calendar, so I write everything down in this little notebook right here for what I'm going to be doing on the day-to-day basis. On my Wednesdays that I take off from my job and really devote to real estate and YouTube, I write down exactly in time chunks what I'm going to be doing and when I'm going to be doing them. Because if I don't, I'm going to be going in without a plan, and I'm going to waste so much time thinking, okay, what do I do next? Something that you have to be really careful of when you're making your plan is number 9, which is overloading your plan. Now, if you put too many things on your to-do list, if you say, I'm gonna wake up at 6 o'clock, shower, work out, write an essay, and film a video all before 7, you're gonna feel absolutely terrible when 7 o'clock rolls around and you haven't even finished editing yet. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be speaking from experience, because that would be absolutely insane to think that I could do all of that in 1 hour. But overloading your to-do list is something that so many people do. And by overloading yourself, at the end of the day, you're gonna feel unaccomplished, and you're gonna think that you just haven't got things done. So, by really acknowledging and time blocking how much you could do in such amount of time, you can create a much more effective to-do list. Granted, every now and then you're gonna have some things that roll over to the next day, and that's all right, but you shouldn't make a habit out of that. The best thing that you could do is write out a to-do list of things that you know that you can complete in that day, but then it'll bring us into our number 10 biggest waste of time is not scheduling in breaks. I think that breaks, leisure time, are very important. Because if you go for 12 hours straight, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, only stopping to eat, potty, and sleep, then you're gonna burn out really quickly. So remember to schedule some breaks in there for you. Put specific times that you actually want to go on social media, that you want to watch TV or play PlayStation or Xbox, and actually enjoy the time that you're creating for yourself. If you don't, then what's the point of all of this? What are you really working towards? I know the very toxic hustle community that's been created in recent years, and how a lot of people shame others and say that you shouldn't have to be working so hard in order to be successful in life, which is 100% true. But if you plan on being able to retire early, if you plan on being part of this FIRE movement, if you plan on being self-sufficient and an entrepreneur, then you should be willing to put those hours in, because you can be average and there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and work your corporate 9-to-5 job for $45,000 a year. You will be able to retire at 69 and a half years old very comfortably. But if you want to retire at 30, then you have to work a little bit harder than most people are willing to. and you have to acknowledge where you're wasting your time. Remember to check the links down in the description below. You get, I think it's, by the time I post it, 3, 4, 2. There's a couple of free stocks that you can still get with Webull just by depositing $100 and get a $50 free credit just for signing up for a Discover card. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Until next time when we continue our financial journeys.